Some interesting news coming in of international donors pledging as much as $5.4 billion to help rebuild Gaza. This is the Financial Times, and as we see that there was this conference in Cairo where a variety of international donors, they came forward and pledged so respective amounts to aid Gaza so that it can rebuild itself in the wake of the war against Israel, where Israel bombed Palestine and especially the Gaza Strip, and there was large scale destruction all around. Now, if I look at the article here, you can see that Qatar has pledged $1 billion in aid to the Palestinians, and there are Kuwait, Turkey, and the United Arab Emirates or UAE, each donating $200 million. Now, this is fine. Qatar is a very rich country, oil rich, they can afford. Kuwait, Turkey, and the UAE, in turn, again, Muslim countries, and they can afford to quite an extent. But it's the next line which I have a problem with. The US is offering a further $212 million. Now, I just fail to understand that the US is having so many economic problems of its own. It's deep in debt. Its citizens, most, if not all, but a very large number of its own citizens are in such financial disarray. Under such circumstances, do you really think it makes sense that the US should be spending such a large sum of money for a community which will probably never have a sense of gratitude? That's what I wonder. That's what I wonder. Probably this sum will go in, the Palestine will probably be rebuilt, and some, the houses and the people's lives will probably, come back to a state of normalcy, and they'll come back to probably bomb the US again, So that's something which I really wonder. Does it really make sense? And also look at the fact that if Israel bombed Palestine and literally reduced it to rubble, do you think it'll not do so again? Especially in light of all that the Hamas has done, and it's not like the Hamas is over. So there'll always be some kind of terrorist activity taking place in the future as well. So will they, this whole cycle continue where Palestine is rebuilt, Israel bombs it again, and then again there's a cycle of aid being given where it's again rebuilt, if I can put it that way. So I don't know how much sense it makes, especially for a country which is in such financial doldrums, if I may, put it that way. I think there's much more requirement for the money to remain in the United States, to be used for its own citizens. You look at the number of homeless people, look at the amount of crime in the country. These are the things which the US administration needs to look into more proactively. And I think instead of pledging money to people who will never have, an entire community which will never have a sense of gratitude and always have a sense of hatred and dislike for America and Americans, I don't think it makes sense that they should spend even a penny, donate even a penny for rebuilding Palestine. This is that's the way I look at it. And something really needs to be done in a way where, yes, from a humanitarian perspective, I guess things have to be done, because whatever it is, irrespective of the community they may belong to, at the end of the day they are humans. But then when you look at the other countries who are anyway pledging aid, probably the US, especially when your own backyard is in such disarray, does it really make sense to be giving away such a large sum of money? That's the question.